Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show today. Big wins. It is over for the Democrats. They finally did it. The GOP, Trump, no concessions given. Guys, this is one of the biggest wins in American history because every single time they've gotten to a shutdown, the Democrats, even Mike Johnson, has always caved and given so much of a pork-filled omnibus or a pork-filled just CR. But now, with President Trump in the backbone of steel, no concessions given, the government is back open, and we have unveiled so much fraud. In the meanwhile, you're not going to believe it. But pertaining to the SNAP, Medicare, health programs, tons of changes that are happening. We've got all the details for you in a moment. But if you appreciate what Trump did, holding the backbone of steel, not giving in to the Democrats, hit that thumbs up like button, guys. This is a big win that we haven't seen in a long time. Because not only was this shutdown all for nothing, because they could have gotten what they got, even with opening the government back up in the beginning, $1.5 trillion in economic damage, 20,000 flights delayed and canceled, 1 million government workers went 7 weeks without a paycheck, so they didn't work for 7 weeks, but guess what? They're about to get all their back pay, so they got 7 weeks vacation. Millions of Americans were cut off from food stamps. I mean, just an insane issues that the Democrats caused. And again, we unveiled so much corruptness. Check this out. Secretary Brooke Rollins found 5,000 dead people still getting SNAP, 500,000 people getting SNAP twice, 2 times under the same name. So they were getting double the food stamps. 80% of able-bodied Americans that can work, don't have small children, or aren't taking care of an elderly parent are receiving SNAP benefits. She said they can work, they choose not to work because they're getting significant benefits from the taxpayer, and it's about to be over. I love this. Quit having people living off of the taxpayer's dime. Get your butt out there and work. I'm telling you, the Democrat swamp is being drained because guess what we just been released this morning, everybody? You're not going to believe this. The former chief of staff for Gavin Newsom has been arrested by the FBI on multiple charges. Dana Williamson has been charged with conspiracy to commit bank and wire fraud, has been charged with conspiracy to defraud the United States and obstruct justice. This is big, guys. Bank fraud, wire fraud, this is huge. We're talking about felonies here. They're going after every single person, and I'm telling you, I promise you, there's probably something in there that may be potentially tied to Gavin Newsom. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But again, I'm telling you, the leftists, because they can't get their way with the immigrants and the illegals, they are taking it to the extreme. California just passed a law letting violent felons walk free by claiming mental health. Even child abusers, gang members can have their records wiped clean by claiming mental health. Everybody, I'm telling you, the fight is just beginning. This whole budget stuff is one thing, but when you're dealing with the ideologies of letting out violent criminals, that's another fight. But we also have it where Representative Tim Burchett tried to release the Epstein files, and the Democrats blocked it with having some Republicans side with them. I'm telling you, everybody, whatever's going on, you have it. It's not. I'm not afraid of it implicating Trump in any negative way because if they could have, they would have before the election last year. But somebody's getting paid off to cover this up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Big day today. Big win for America. No concessions given. Show some love in the chat, everybody. If you're not a part of the family yet, please consider hitting the subscribe button, joining our family. I want to say thank you to everybody that supports our family every day with your giving, with being a member. We partner with you on the 22nd of every single month. We're donating live on stream to a local charity, Children's Home. I show you the receipt, everybody. And over the past year, we've given over $50,000 to these local charities, and it's all because of you. Just thank you so much for all your support, for sharing our videos, liking our videos. If you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, it really does help out so much. Give some love to Barbara Henson. Welcome to the family. Our boy Jim Barbato, OG of the family. Thank you so much, brother. Our boy Richard, PDX67. Roland Jeremy, welcome to the family. Veronica Miskey, thank you so much for your support. Show them some love in the chat, guys, because I'm telling you, it is over for the Democrats. Listen to this.
It is over. Democrats are reliving the Biden nightmare. Now the media is asking, do you have confidence in Chuck Schumer's leadership?
Do you have confidence in Schumer's leadership?
Yes, I do. I voted for him. He's a good leader. And the notion that Chuck Schumer should be able to control or corral Senate Democrats is sort of laughable. I don't need his permission to do what's right for Virginia.
Wow.
Schumer has managed to do the impossible. He's lost clout in the Senate, and he's lost his base. Now the traitorous 8 is in the crosshairs. The so-called nipple Nazis calling for regime change.
The Democratic Party at the leadership level has really just become entirely feckless. It is the fact that it is just an element of leadership that is in control of the party at this moment in history that is failing to do any of those things. And we got to get rid of them. They have to go.
You know who agrees with the so-called nipple Nazi? The Congresswoman from Queens, who was told by Nancy Pelosi years ago not to make mischief inside the tent. But Nancy's out of commish. So AOC put the word out to every Bolshevik in America, run, Forrest, run.
This problem is bigger than one person, and it actually is bigger than the minority leader in the Senate. We actually do have Senate elections this year, and my hope is that people across this country actually participate in their primary elections in selecting their leadership.
The commies want to wave a hammer and sickle in every district. Bernie said it. 40 senators are just too moderate. He wants them primaried and gonzo. Same thing in the House. Jerry Nadler has soiled his last trouser and isn't running for re-election. So JFK's grandson wants a seat. And let's just say he's not giving Camelot.
Let me tell you this, everybody. This right here, if this shows you anything, this is what Trump is trying to get rid of, okay? Because right now, in the federal government, there's big paychecks, and we have a bloated bureaucracy that exposing how the Congress is funding failure. Look at this chart right here, okay? This literally shows that the head count for the federal government has increased 5%, okay? But guess what? What has their pay increase been? 24%. $270 billion it cost the taxpayers to pay from 2020 to 2024. The difference, guys, of how the government grew under the Biden administration versus how many people are there. They increased their paychecks while trying to force everybody else to pay more taxes. This is what we're fighting against, and this is where it all comes from. Look at this. Drive-By Media admits North Texas taxpayers are funding education for 44,000 illegal aliens. This is literally happening in Texas. So if it's happening here, you know it's happening in blue states. All these federal government programs, USAID. You want to know one of the most sickening things that I am going to show you ever? Did you know this is the funding for the BBC, for a literal news outlet in a different country, their second biggest donor besides the nation that they're in is the USAID. It was USAID. It was us, the United States, putting our money in to try to control the media outlet narrative in another country, guys. Right here in black and white, we show you the receipts, guys. This is why Trump is so adamant about cutting the spending, making the government smaller, and exposing the wasteful fraud. Do you really want your dollars funding another country's news outlets? Like, are you serious? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm telling you, this is like, what I'm going to show you today is just mind-blowing how wasteful the Democrats and Republicans have been with your money. Proud U.S. Navy veteran, member for 13 months. Let's go, brother. Show him some love in the chat. Say God bless you all. And don't forget to show our boy Jim Barbato and our boy Richard some love in the chat. Guys, this stuff is real. We're exposing it all, and we're just barely getting started today.
I was a bad, bad boy this weekend. I did some really bad stuff. I can't wait to tell you guys about it later. That's Jay Powell, Janet Yellen, Pitbull.
He's 32, and his only real job was working for Vogue. He's as qualified as Mondami, so why not? This is what the Democrat Party's turning into.
Right there.
The Kennedys are putting on lipstick, and the new Messiah wears a pantsuit.
Jasmine Crockett is actually what the Democrats should be leaning into, because she is a phenomenal messenger. And some people just got it. Like, some people just have a different anointing on them. She is the most effective messenger that the Democratic Party has right now. And they need to be using her as a Trojan horse.
I don't think Charlemagne knows what a Trojan horse is. Crockett's supposed to jump out of the Trojan horse, not be one. Anyway. But Trader Kane's putting lipstick on a pig.
It doesn't seem like some of the party is just angry about this. It seems like this is ripping the party apart at a time where it felt like the party was coming back together post-elections.
Can I just say, ripping the party apart? I think you're over-dramatizing this. I mean, I know the news business is to try to make everything like the biggest crisis.
Did Kane just say a woman was being dramatic? Careful, buddy. You're already on thin ice. Hips isn't calling it a crisis either. He says the shutdown was a win.
Over the last several weeks, we have elevated successfully the issue of the Republican health care crisis, and we're not backing away from it.
If this was a win, why does everybody want Schumer's head to roll? Democrats are in such a free-for-all. All they could do to distract from the Schumer shutdown cover-up is leak Epstein emails.
Right there.
They're going to force a vote to release everything the government has on Jeffrey Epstein.
We need to respect tribal sovereignty in our environment. We need to stand up for LGBTQ plus rights, because that's what the American people expect us to do. Fight for them. That is why I will sign the discharge petition right now to release the Epstein files.
Let me tell you this, everybody. They're hitting rock bottom, and they're trying to grasp for straws for anything. Right now, that person, Charlemagne, I'm not going to say the other part, just Charlemagne, this is who he said should be the person we're leaning into. FEC filings reveal that Democrat Representative Jasmine Crockett has spent $75,000 on luxury hotels, limos, and private security on the taxpayer's dime. Okay? This right here is under the FEC filings. This is who you want leading a person who sets themselves up staying at $1,000 a night hotels. I'm telling you that they're so fake. If you go back and look at all the videos of how Trump spoke, how he carried himself, he was always the same. But when it comes to the Democratic Party, they're as fake as you can get. Listen to this.
And I'm thinking, I just got to Austin, and I had to.
This is how she really talks.
Get here. I don't know about this. So
Y'all don't know what white privilege looks like, but I'm gonna show you a little bit of something.
it's a huge responsibility.
Look at this.
You know, the congressional seat is over 4 times as large as my House seat.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at, calm down, calm down.
No, because this is what y'all do.
And I was just starting to get into the rhythm of
Do you see how fake they are and how fake they sound? I'm telling you. This is literally us exposing them top to bottom. I want to get into, guys, because again, there's the changes that happened with this new CR bill. There wasn't no concessions given, but this is the key changes that happened in this new bill. They extended the SNAP benefits through September of 2026 at the current levels, okay? So enhanced SNAP benefits for another year. Why? Because again, it's the government. They don't care. They're spending your taxpayer dollars and nobody holds them accountable. Medicare and health programs delays disproportionate share of hospitals cuts, extends multiple Medicare authorities like telehealth flexibilities through fiscal year 2026. For the disaster and agricultural aid, clarifies de minimis crop provisions and disaster programs, allows reprogramming of farm loans funds to match 2025 levels. Then the wildfighting, firefighting, and then this is basically it on top of everything that we were already spending on. So again, we're spending the same amount that Biden was spending during his terms. Nothing has changed. There is no extensions of enhanced ACA subsidies, Was a Democratic concession, potentially raising premiums for 20 plus in 2026. This is big, big stuff. But what I'm showing you, everybody, is that this was Trump standing up finally for the American people with no big concessions given. No pork, no slush funds. We just continued what we were already doing, which I know is filled with a lot of pork, but at least we didn't give any more. And then now they're working on the next big bill, the second big, beautiful bill. Yes, there's another one. It's coming to make a lot of big, more changes in Congress. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Democrats are fighting harder for the Epstein files than they did to pay the troops. And the House just got their hands on about 20,000 Epstein emails. And what's the first thing Democrats did when they woke up? They leaked 3, just 3, out of 20,000, and it backfired.
Did the president ever spend hours at Jeffrey Epstein's house with a victim?
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. I think it's a question worth asking the Democrat Party, and you should all go ask them after this briefing, of why they chose to redact that name of a victim who has already publicly made statements about her relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and is unfortunately no longer with us.
That's right. Democrats redacted a woman's name and called her victim, but the victim's dead. Her name is Virginia, and she already testified under oath that Trump did nothing wrong. What a sleazy leak while they're shutting down the government to give illegal aliens health care. They're all getting paid. They're all allowed to insider trade. These are the kinds of swampy tactics that make us lose all respect for these freaks. They create a crisis, so no one gets paid, people can't eat, and no one can fly. And now they're like, here's a fake Epstein email. What a joke. Wow. The Obama boys say Chuck E. Cheese orchestrated the cave job. And
let me tell you this, everybody. If you think that this draining the swamp is ending, look at this. Dana Williamson, former chief of staff for Gavin Newsom, has been arrested by the FBI on multiple charges, including conspiracy to commit bank and wire fraud, bank fraud, wire fraud, conspiracy to defraud the United States and obstruct justice, making false statements, subscribing to false tax returns. Right here, here is the actual DOJ press release. I'm telling you, everybody, we're not hearing a lot of this on the mainstream media, but they are going after people. It's always hard to go after the top dog like a Gavin Newsom, a Hillary Clinton, or somebody like that. But when you get the people below them, you start getting the paper trail, you start finding all the receipts, that's where you start going after some of these people. But this shit right here just shows you they are doing something. And not only that, again, we're starting to expose a lot of people right now because guess what? Congressman Massey has sided with the Democrats trying to smear Trump and the FBI over January 6th pipe bomb probe. It's gotten so deep, guys, that even our boy Dan Bongino has got into the fight, exposing screenshots of his outgoing calls to Thomas Massey, trying to say, like, what are you doing? What are you trying to expose? Everything that you're saying is false. Guys, this is making a big fight right here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. You appreciate this. If you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, because again, it's one thing for somebody to say something that's a Republican like Thomas Massey. It's another thing for Dan Bongino to expose, look at these outgoing calls to Thomas Massey. He won't answer my phone calls. Things are getting, we are draining the swamp so much, people are getting exposed on both sides. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. John Reppy, let's go, brother, with the super chat. Said MAGA is winning. Thanks, Joel, for your continued hard work, giving us real news and name news and all patriotic members of this great channel. Amen, brother. Show John some love in the chat, as well as Joghaws. Thank you so much, brother. Said need to get these parasites out of our pockets and out of office. Let's go, DJT. I love it. Show Joghaws, member of the channel, some love. And our boy Andy for the super chat. I got you, brother. We're going to show you something in just a moment. Roland Shermy, thank you for upgrading your membership. Let's go. Show Roland some love in the chat, as well as our boy Richard for gifting a TrueLife News membership. Thank you so much, brother. And don't forget, U.S. Navy Black American vet Say thank you. Your great news coverage. Have a blessed day. Black vets for Trump. Amen, brother. Show him some love in the chat. U.S. Navy Black American vet. Thank you, brother, for your service. I'm telling you what, guys. You know what I love? Look at me. I'm not white, guys. I'm not the majority. I'm in the minority. But you know what? That doesn't matter. What matters is back there. The red, white, and blue. Don't matter what you look like. When you're an American citizen, you need to be put first and be taken care of. That's what America stands for. Doesn't matter where you come from. We're going to take care of our own and put our own first, because I'm telling you, things are changing. Listen to this.
It focuses on MAGA, the president, everything. You're quite concerned about some of the direction here, but the deeper issues you got to at the beginning of your, and if people have not seen it, I put it up on Getter. 1 hour that Mark spent with Alex Jones is a kind of must-watch TV. And take your number 2 pencil out when you're watching this, because he's got some great insights. Your thoughts this morning, sir?
Yeah, my thoughts are the Republicans are going to lose because they don't understand politics. They're still playing yesterday's political game, which is a game about basically two warring sides, two warring ideological sides, locked in a complete stalemate. And it's not like that anymore. People under 50 don't really care about conservatism. The problem is that all of these values have basically failed America. And everybody above 50 is generally doing pretty well. Everybody under 50 can't afford a house, doesn't want to get married. The society doesn't work. The churches don't mean as much as they used to. The schools suck. Like, everything's falling apart. And that's what happens on a fourth turning. And it's like, okay, you got this wave of boomers. They did really well. And what's wild is just look at like median homebuyer age, which has gone up from 39 to 59 in the last 20 years. So there's an entire slice of the generation that's literally just been priced out of the American dream. Yep. And the polling tells us this. Like, everybody thinks that today's children will be worse off than their parents. The numbers are just absolutely abysmal. So something like the music finally stopped is basically where we're at. And you have the Republican Party that's just like, well, you know, they'll be fine just voting for us because nobody likes socialism. Well, we're getting to the point where people are considering socialism. And I think that this was like the last chance of the right to actually put up or shut up. And everybody's seeing that, oh, they're just going to shut up. That's exactly what happened. Donald Trump had the perfect platform. He was given the biggest mandate the Republican Party's ever going to have. All he had to do was come in and literally just reform government and smash the oligarchy. And he's not gonna. And so all the young people, all these people like the Trump voters under 40, they are not conservative at all. And they gave Donald Trump a 60% approval rating in the fall, or in the spring, when Elon Musk and Doge were just completely shock and awe, like tearing the government apart. Everybody was validated that, yes, I distrusted the federal government and I was right. It sucks. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, we just like bottled that back up. And now it's like, oh, it's the Republicans and Democrats. Who's going to blame more? And it doesn't matter. They're just going to vote for Mamdani because he's going to give him a $10 trillion housing crisis bill. And, you know, it'll destroy the Republic.
Is this the reason?
Let me tell you this, everybody. I bring the receipts on this channel. You know what has destroyed this American dream? It was in the 80s and in the 90s, you had congressional leaders who really started it all, guys. I'm telling you, these numbers don't lie. Over the past 50 years, we have brought in so much private equity, like big companies like BlackRock buying up all the homes. You've heard of that name. They are the biggest homeowner in the world, okay? 150 million new immigrants, 30 million illegals, H-1B fraud, hedge funds. This is why the difference between buying a home in 1985 versus buying a home right now, the price and income has only 3x'd. But if you look at the price of the average home, it is 6x'd, okay? It doesn't align with what the amount of money people make versus how much the house costs. This is the difference. But whenever you let in this many 30 million illegals, 150 new immigrants, you let private equity come in and buy up all the houses and then raise the pricing. I mean, you are asking for it, guys. This is what's happened. But I'm telling you, people are fed up. People are fed up with the Republican Party. They're fed up with the Democratic Party. And some people are trying to go towards socialism because they're lazy and they just want everything for free. But I truly believe that MAGA, America first, people that want to get up there, pull themselves up by their bootstraps, work hard, are going to come out from this. Jim Barbato, let's go, brother, with the super chat. I love it. Show our boy Jim some love in the chat, everybody.
Hang on. Is this the reason that in political media you could tell that this shutdown did not generate the interest, did not generate the passion, did not generate the concern of the one that President Trump did in 2018 for building the wall, and the one that was in 2013 with Mike Lee and Ted Cruz about Obamacare? That conventional politics and kind of the Republicans and Democrats going at it at a superficial level is not what drives people now.
We don't have daily tracking on party. We have daily tracking on Trump. And this one was very different, entirely different landscape. I've been saying that people want to shut down, but the whole point was to actually reform the system with it. And so what happened is Donald Trump's numbers didn't take a nosedive at all. For the first 3 weeks of the shutdown, it was incredible. I didn't know what to expect. And people were like, okay, whatever, sure, we're going to shut this down. And on the internet, which I admit is not real world, everybody was like, oh, look, we got to get Russ Vogt, the Grim Reaper. So what happened is about 3 weeks into this, when Donald Trump's flying around the world talking to dignitaries, and we're building the East Wing of the White House, and now food stamps are going to get defunded, and we're walking into an election, all of a sudden his numbers started tanking. And it was very clear that, in my opinion, the Republicans had no plan, and everybody went on the internet, and everyone was ripping their faces off on the right about Israel. And so I think that's what happened. And then you look at the elections and it's like, oh, yep, independents and crossover Democrats didn't turn out in New Jersey. And some of them might have been affected by what was going on, but clearly some of them, I think, just expected more out of a Republican Party and are not excited to go to the polls. Democrats are excited to go vote because they hate Trump, and that motivates them. On the right, unfortunately, what motivates them is smashing the oligarchy and burning the government down. And the right is not doing that, and so the left's going to get a chance. The pendulum's going to swing back, and this might be the last chance. I don't know. We got 355 days to an election, and the Republicans are going to lose this one.
Ooh.
They are just going to lose it. It looked like their plan
everybody?
was gerrymandering.
This is what the polling is saying. Lead pollster. I want to show you this, guys, because I'm telling you, stuff like this matters. Trump, look at this. You have former special counsel Jack Smith allegedly targeted then House Speaker Kevin McCarthy's private phone records in January 6 probe FBI docs revealed. I'm telling you, if Pam Bondi and Kash Patel do not, I know they've indicted Comey, I know they're going after Brennan, but what we want to see is Jack Smith. We want to see somebody like a Hillary Clinton. I know they're going after Letitia James, but still, like, when it comes to the tiered levels of, like, people, the top is always going to be like your Obamas, Bidens, Clintons. Like, those are your top. And even, I would even put a Gavin Newsom up there. Then it's Letitia James, Fani Willis, Comey, Brennan, and then below them is the people that work for them. If people don't see arrest, if people don't see that Trump and his DOJ are going to go after people, they're not going to vote for them again. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because we have to win the midterms. If not, I promise you, they will impeach Trump again.
War of attrition that they're now appearing to lose. And the generic ballot is, I think, Democrat +5 on the Real Clear Politics aggregate. Rich says his numbers are way worse than that. I won't steal his thunder. And we're going to go back in the field soon, too. And history tells us they're going to lose it anyways. And so at this point, you know, you have a clip about it, but there needs to be drastic action for the Republican Party if they actually want to fix America. But I think what's being revealed is that they just don't. And J.D. Vance polls really well, but, you know, 2028, this time we mean it, is not a good campaign slogan.
What we're going to have Andrew Colvette's going to be on here, Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk actually on August 19th put up an action plan. In fact, you'll see it. I put it up on Getter yesterday. You'll see it when we have a clip of Chip Roy and Benny Johnson talk about H-1B visas. We're going to bring in Rosemary Jenks here in a moment. When you say they're going to lose it, obviously nothing in history is actually set in place. But you're recommending, Barris is going to come on too, you're recommending from what you're seeing a pretty dramatic action plan to get back to the basics and particularly to get back to the motive power we had in the first 100 days, 200 days of the Trump's second term?
Yeah, they need to do something different. People voted for massive change in Washington, D.C., not business as usual. And fighting over healthcare subsidies is business as usual. It just is. And the Republicans in Congress and the Senate, I understand you have a shiny object in front of you, but you're playing the wrong game. The right game is, let's arrest some pharma company CEOs. The right game is like sue every insurance company for antitrust. The right game is like actually audit Medicare spending, like find $100 billion worth of useless like sleep apnea payments, or all the double payments that DOJ was going after, or all of these overdiagnosis tests, or like actually break the industry capture of the medical regulatory system. We have the right people, do we not? Like, this is the best they're ever going to get in Washington, D.C. And unfortunately, I think what's going to happen is none of that will work because these people care about business influences. Like, literally, Trump is surrounded apparently by billionaires right now, and he has to smash the oligarchy, not be the oligarchy, or the Democrat Party is just going to take over the oligarchy. And that's what they're doing. They're just passing this political football back and forth. And the music's going to stop. Like, the right is turning into a hard right movement. The left is turning into a socialist movement. And our dollar's just going to get destroyed. And we're giving all the jobs away, the cream of our economy. This is a healthcare thing, too. I mean, it's really perverse, the healthcare industry. 60% of the health medical insurance is actually like employer insurance. And the way they price those things is the whole company's age average is taken into account. So there's a really perverse incentive to just like push older people out of the workplace. And in my opinion, that's probably one of the primary drivers of H-1B that everybody's raging against. Is that, well, we have too many old people. Well, we have a bottomless well of third world young people that we can import with the H-1B program, and I don't care what that does to the American society or culture.
Let me tell you this, everybody, what is coming up? Because I'm telling you, if they do not get this underway, the Democrats are going to put this in the media narrative, and this is what's going to control the mainstream media instead of exposing more and more and arresting the corrupt people actually in Congress. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, listen to this.
More people look at this and say, we want all of these files released because you are behaving like a person who's guilty.
Ben? I wish you guys gave this much thought and much obsession over this when Joe Biden was president. I wish you were asking for this much transparency when it wasn't about attacking the president of the United States of America and to score political points. I wish you guys cared about the victims as much as you care about trying to attack Donald Trump. When CNN's own reporting says, and I quote, the woman who is the survivor literally accused Democrats, not Republicans, of hiding her name because she had not alleged Trump to have done anything wrong.
You're talking about Virginia
Correct.
who we just talked about.
And my point is,
she died by, just to be clear, she died by suicide.
But, she accused Democrats when she was alive, her words, of hiding her name because she had not alleged Trump to have done anything wrong. That is how sick and partisan this has become. You guys didn't care about the victims. You didn't care about anything else. And now you're saying, well, maybe Donald Trump knew of a crime and maybe didn't report it. That's just straight up slander and libel.
No, it's not slander and libel.
You're telling the you just said to the president,
I let you finish.
Watch the crime.
You turn that glove
Can I just clear one thing up, because I think this is important. I don't want this misinformation to be out there. When Virginia...
Guys, let me tell you this. It is constantly one-sided. You didn't hear CNN or them talking about Lake and Riley or all them. What you're about to hear next, this is what they're trying to perpetuate. This is what Gavin Newsom will try to perpetuate throughout the United States if he wins presidency or if the Democrats continue to win. Listen to what's happening in California right now, because I'm telling you, it always starts in California and then makes its way across the United States when Democrats are in power.
California is now becoming the front lines of America's collapse in public safety. You don't have to take my word for it. Just listen to the sheriff and law enforcement. California is becoming a testing ground for a new philosophy in criminal justice, one that is trading accountability for excuses. And mark my words, that never works. Under the state's new law, mental health diversion laws, judges can dismiss criminal charges even for the most violent felonies if an offender claims a diagnosable mental disorder and completes treatment. So that means, and it's happening, child abusers, gang members, repeat robbers can avoid prison entirely once their treatment is done and their records are wiped clean. So you're seeing offenders repeat over and over again heinous crimes. Law enforcement officials, including the Sacramento County Sheriff Jim Cooper, actually warned that inmates are already bragging about how to fake a mental health claim to get out. They know that there's no real punishment, no deterrence, and no respect left for the rule of law. This is not reform. This is a collapse of the justice system. And California is now leading in the nation for homelessness, taxation, declining public safety. And you're seeing businesses leaving, families locking their doors even earlier every night. The state that once used to be a symbol of opportunity and innovation is just a flashing red warning and a light for the rest of the country. This is not about politics today. This is about principle and protecting the American people. When government continues to excuse crime instead of confronting it, innocent people pay the price. If this is the model that California wants.
And I'm telling you, everybody, this is like the stuff you don't see on mainstream media that's actually happening, okay? The United States government, like right here, you're seeing in this chart, is getting bigger. Their pay is increasing. And yet, where's the American people at? Getting screwed over so that the Democrats can put priority on illegal immigrants over Americans? Heck no. Salt and Light, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Say Rasmussen is right. However, his political analysis regarding the young people does not take into account all the foundational work that Trump has done that will come to bear this year. Patience, amen. We're going to see a huge economic boom, and I think that's going to help out a lot. Show Salt and Light some love in the chat, everybody, as well as our boy Richard with the super chat. Let's go. PDX67, I love it. Show Richard some love with my favorite GIF. Thomas Brewer, thank you so much, brother. OG of the channel. Said, go, Joel, go. You're the best. Come on, people. Joel needs support financially and in spreading the word about this channel. Amen, brother. Thank you so much for your support, Thomas. We are here to serve you. Thank you so much for helping us out, everybody. And our boy, Andy, said, we need Eric Trump for president and his wife, Laura Trump, for first lady. 100% MAGA power couple. J.D. Vance can't win the White House. You know what? I would be okay with that. I think they would do phenomenal. It's going to be close, guys. If stuff like this keeps happening, it's going to be close. Show Andy some love in the chat, as well as Thomas Brewer, Richard, and Salt and Light. Thank y'all so much for your support. Again, what is coming next? This is what you're hearing straight from the leader, guys, of the House, because the second big, beautiful bill is about to be unleashed. If you appreciate this, info, our news, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. Listen to this.
Very relieved tonight. The Democrat shutdown is finally over, thanks to House and Senate Republicans who stood together to get the job done. Absolutely no question in anybody's mind now that the Democrats were responsible for this. What happened? Millions of American families went without food on their table. You had millions of Americans stranded in airports with their flights canceled and delayed. You had troops and federal employees wondering where their next paycheck would come from. The Democrats openly admitted, many of them said it in their own words, that they used the American people as leverage in this political game. They knew that it would cause that pain to the people, and they did it anyway. They did it for their own selfish purposes, their political purposes, and it was a game they played with real people's lives. It's something that is very difficult to forgive. I want to say that all this was utterly pointless and foolish. This outcome was totally foreseeable. I said that this would be the outcome when all this began back in mid-September. They did it anyway. Democrats admitted that they used the people as leverage, and they got nothing for their selfish political stunt here. They didn't achieve anything with this at all. And anyone who studied history would know that shutdowns never yield any positive result. It just hurts people. I said on the House floor a little while ago that we did all this in good faith. From the very beginning, I was insistent about this. Our leadership team was. The Republicans did the right thing. We had a nonpartisan continuing resolution. We didn't have any Republican priorities on it at all. We just said, in good faith, let's keep the lights on. Let's keep this going for another 7 weeks so that the Congress can do its work, so they can get back to the regular appropriations process, the way that it is supposed to be done for the people, so that we're good stewards with their money. That hasn't been done here in a long time. And we said we want to get back to that. Now, I'm pleased that tonight on the CR, we had 3 appropriations bills that we'll send over to the president's desk in just a short amount of time tonight to get signed into law. That's an innovation too. As you all know, it's been years since Congress actually did separate appropriations bills. I'm proud of that achievement, but I'm really sad that it took us so long to get here. There was so much pain that had to be endured to get to this point. Voters are going to remember which political party played games with their lives. They're going to remember that they did this for their own selfish purposes so that they could look tough to the radical elements of their base, and real people suffered because of that game. So now that we've got the lights back on, we've got the government reopened, the president will sign that triumphantly tonight, and Republicans will get right back to the work that we promised the American people that we will do. We're going to deliver for the American people, as we have been doing. And I'll leave you with this thought. There's a split screen in America right now.
Yep, and I want to show you this real quick, everybody, because again, this is the biggest fight ever, right here. During the Obama administration, okay, from 2009 to 2017, you can go Google this. Estimated emergency Medicaid spending on undocumented immigrants, illegals, was around $7 to $10 billion, okay? Under the Biden administration, from 2021 to 2025, $16.2 billion. Right here, already, around $26 billion, okay, spent on illegals, healthcare, and whatnot. And this is what they qualified as emergency, but we know that that was a big lie. It's boiling down to the Obamacare, the enhanced ACA credits. That's what this fight is all about. And this is why, again, too, when it comes to healthcare and the government and making sure you're being taken care of, that's why we partnered with Chapter, because I'm telling you, everybody, I've seen time and time again, we've had so many people, hundreds of people on this channel literally go through and are now saving so much money, guys, in the thousands of dollars because they called Chapter and they got them to help them out with their Medicare open enrollment right now. Their number is 667-895-3015. And the reason I'm telling you this, everybody, and I'm showing you the receipts, because when they spend money on all these other illegals and undocumented migrants, and yet they're giving to you and they tell you, hey, when it comes to your Medicare and when it comes to what's going to happen in 2026 with the updates and the premiums and all this stuff and how it's all been impacted from the government shutdown, this is a lot of big stuff. And I'm showing you this from Medical News Today. There is literally over 5,600 Medicare Advantage plans available nationwide, okay? So that means, how do you make sure to get the best one, the one that takes care of you the most, the one that serves you the best without you wasting your hard-earned money on things that you don't need? We call up Chapter, you tell them that Joel from TrueLife News sent you, and they're going to take care of you, everybody. The number is 667-895-3015. And what makes me so happy is because already, guys, so many people have been helped out by this company. It's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. Just costs you calling them up. And the time takes, on average, 20 minutes or less. And it is such a blessing. And I wouldn't be showing you this or telling you this if I didn't truly believe in it. And they've done already such a phenomenal job of taking care of people. I couldn't believe 5,600 plans nationwide. Are you freaking kidding me? That's the government for you. But that's why, again, what's coming up next and why you need to be taken care of, it's open enrollment time for Medicare. Call them up. They're going to take care of you because what you're about to hear next, the fight is not over. Listen to this.
There's a split screen. On one side of the screen, you have President Trump and the Republican majorities in the Congress and the Senate and the House doing the work for the American people. Look what we've achieved in the first 10 months of this year. You can make an argument that it's the most productive season for a new Congress and a new presidency, a new administration, at least in the modern era, maybe of all time. Just in this short amount of months, we got the border secured. We fulfilled that promise. We are working on the crime crisis around the country. We have new trade agreements. We have a return to American energy dominance. We have cut taxes, the largest tax cut in U.S. history. In a literal sense, we're cutting regulations. We're ending fraud, waste, and abuse out of government. We're shoring up the safety net programs like Medicaid so that it's there for the people that desperately need it and it is not being abused by illegal aliens and by young able-bodied men who are not eligible to receive them.
Able-bodied.
We are doing all this good.
Right there, everybody. Again, I bring you the receipts because I'm telling you, this stuff is blowing up right now with the amount of fraud, waste, and abuse that's out there. Listen to this. This is for SNAP.
And 20 plus others did not, and we're suing. We're in a litigation right now. But of the 29 that complied, what we have found is staggering. 500,000 people getting benefits two times under the same name. 5,000 dead people. 80% of the able-bodied Americans, meaning they can work, they don't have small children at home, they're not taking care of an elderly parent, they can work and they choose not to work, of course, because they're getting significant benefits from the taxpayer. So this light, Laura, that has now been shined on what is perhaps one of the most corrupt, dysfunctional programs in American history that we are working now. Very big announcements coming next week on this. We are cracking down. We now have a plan to fix it, and we're really, really excited about doing that for the American people.
Do you see this, guys? This is the thing. When you have 500,000 people, and this is just in what they've found thus far, there is so much fraud across our government. That's why we need to drain the swamp, clean things up, guys. I'm sick and tired of this. I'm sick and tired of people that need the help the most not getting it, and I'm sick and tired of seeing people abuse the system and literally make it worse for everybody else.
The president, meanwhile, is using his authority to change the world, literally. He has ended 8 wars around the globe. All of this is happening on the Republican side and so much more. That's on one side of the screen, and on the other is the Democrat Party. And what have they done? What do they have to show for the last 10 months of government here? They shut the government down. They voted 15 times to close the government and exact that pain on everyone. We can never forget that. They haven't achieved anything beyond that except pushing ICE officers around and really spurring on political violence. So I want to say that there's a reason the Democrats are in disarray right now. There's a reason they don't have an identified leader of their party. There's a reason that their favorability, even amongst those in their own party, is at lowest of all time. They don't have a platform, a principle they can defend. They don't have a leader, except for Mondami, who's the new mayor of New York City and leading the party into Marxism and socialism. I think everybody should consider that split screen. I think you should look at it truthfully and honestly and objectively. And I think you can evaluate for yourself which party's working for the people. We're anxious to get that done, to work on health care and affordability and all the issues, to continue doing what we've done. And we look forward to rolling that out for you in the next several days. A few questions, yes?
You said earlier that you would repeal that FBI provision that's in the bill right now. Do you have assurances from Leader Thune that he will bring it up in the Senate?
I did call Leader Thune this morning. I want to say that he's a principled leader. I've enjoyed working with him. We've had a great working relationship and a good friendship. He's a trustworthy, honest broker. And that's why I was so surprised when we found out about that provision. It was put in our clean CR at the last moment. I'm just to be honest, I'm very transparent with you all. I was very angry about it. I was. And a lot of my members called me and said, did you know about it? We had no idea. That was dropped in at the last minute. And I did not appreciate that, nor did most of the House members.
I'm telling you, everybody, don't think that there's not rhinos or people within the Republican Party that are still not trying to get theirs in the midst of this all. This is what makes me so upset, because I know, like, we should be aligning together to fight this injustice like never before, because this is such a huge chance for us. But it is mind-blowing how they still try to stick things in at the last moment and try to make wins. Richard, thank you so much for gifting a TrueLife News membership. Let's go. Show Richard some love in the chat, everybody, as well as Ted and Linda Thompson. Thank you so much for your support. Say God bless the USA and God bless Donald J. Trump. Amen. Show Ted and Linda some love, as well as Richard. And if you don't mind doing us a huge favor, everybody, of hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for helping us. When you do that, it grows our channel, it grows our voice. We appreciate you so much.
Then are very angry about that. So we will be bringing that up. We'll probably pass it on suspension early next week, and we'll send it over to the Senate. I had a conversation with Leader Thune early this morning about it. I think he regretted the way it was done, and we had an honest conversation about that. I didn't ask him for any commitment at that time because I had a lot on my plate today, and I've been busy ever since that conversation we had earlier this morning. But I'm going to speak as truthfully to him as I am to all of you and tell you that I think that was way out of line. I don't think that was a smart thing to do. I don't think it was the right thing to do, and the House is going to reverse it. We're going to repeal that, and I'm going to expect our colleagues in the Senate to do the same thing.
Mr. Speaker, you said that you're for full transparency, so why not just urge all your Republicans to vote for this massive Connell bill on the Epstein files next week? Put out all the files. Let the American public judge for themselves what these
we
files
are. Thank you
about.
for asking the question. We have been for maximum transparency of the Epstein files from the very beginning. What I was opposed to is the reckless disregard that was used in drafting the discharge petition. And we've been over this many times, but it was not drafted in such a way that it would adequately protect innocent victims. We have a responsibility to do that. There's as many as 1,000 women, by some estimates, of people who have been victimized because of the sex trafficking and Epstein and all these horrendous, heinous crimes, and we can't have them subjected to any further harm. So we wanted to make sure that they were properly, whose names were properly redacted out of the files. But the discharge petition is not only reckless, it is also a totally moot point. The Oversight Committee has been working, as you all know, around the clock, working on this. And you have some of the toughest members of Congress on the Republican and Democrat side who are working in bipartisan fashion to go through and release those files. As we stand here tonight, I think we're up to over 50,000 pages of records that are out in the open. You can go online tonight if you're at home and go through it yourself. And the Epstein estate files thus far has been the biggest tranche of important information. We found that outside of the scope of the discharge petition because it was never even anticipated or included in the discharge. The Oversight Committee, well, let me finish. The Oversight Committee has been digging into that, and some of the most valuable information was in the estate files. It includes Jeffrey Epstein's own personal logs, his travel logs, his financial ledgers, his daily calendar. All this is now out in the public, and more is to come. Chairman Comer of the Oversight Committee has done an extraordinary job. You have, again, some of the most notable members in Congress working on that around the clock, and they will continue to have full disclosure. I want to say this tonight, and I think this is a shame to a lot of the Hill press corps. I'm not going to name any of you by name, but I haven't seen many stories written yet about the fact that we put the discharge up for unanimous consent on the floor tonight. The Republicans, the Speaker, and the Republicans asked for unanimous consent to just go ahead and pass the discharge because I think it's a moot point. The Democrats objected to the unanimous consent. Nobody's written a story about that. That's stunning to me. How can you miss that? If it was about transparency, if it was about full disclosure, there's two questions you should ask every Democrat in the House and Senate. Why didn't you bring this up during the 4 years of the Biden administration when the Biden DOJ had all these records the entire time?
There.
Nobody ever said a word about it. They didn't care. Now it's the biggest thing in the world. Didn't matter at all when Joe Biden had the files. And secondly, if they're for transparency and they really want all this to be out and there's such this urgency, then why did they vote down the unanimous consent to pass the discharge petition tonight? I can't answer that question, but they should. And every one of you should ask them about it. Yes.
Let me tell you this, everybody. A lot of stuff is about to be revealed because there are some people that are literally stepping away from all of like the Republican Party, and they're going full, like she says, full America first. Like, let me know your thoughts on this, because this next person, I'm telling you, is gone to me full separate, just like John Fetterman is with the Democratic Party. This lady is doing it with the Republican Party. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this is mind-blowing what she says.
Again, since you were outspoken, Speaker, someone comes to you and says, okay, Congresswoman, you were a leader in talking about this issue, affordability, healthcare costs. What do you want to see happen?
Yeah, great question. So just to preface that, I'm 1,000 against Obamacare. It was passed in 2010 by the Democrats. In 2014, when it went into place, we're self-employed with a family construction business. Obamacare took our family of five's health insurance policy from $800 a month to over $2,400 a month, more than our mortgage was. And so we had to drop our policy. So I myself have been a victim of Obamacare. I voted against the ACA tax credits in 2021 under Nancy Pelosi. The Democrats did that as well. And they set the expiration date for this year. So the entire debacle and failure and crisis we're in has been created by the Democrats. Here's my problem, Sean. Republicans have never fixed it. Yes. After they gave the effort to repeal and replace and the whole thing died, there's been no effort to truly fix it. Now, here's what I think we have to do. I think we have to build an off-ramp off of Obamacare and an off-ramp off of the ACA tax credits so that the American people aren't driving 80 miles an hour into a brick wall and hitting a financial crisis, which is what is actually happening starting on January 1 with these ACA tax credits expiring. And I think when you build an off-ramp off of one thing, at the same time, you build an on-ramp onto something else. And the something else needs to be a variety of things, because a one-size-fits-all approach to healthcare doesn't work in America anymore. And the problem we have, people just say, just repeal Obamacare. Totally fine with a repeal. However, the health insurance industry is not the same as it was back in 2014 when Obamacare went in place. A lot of these insurance companies went out of business. They pulled out of the marketplace. There's not a lot of free market solutions there. So,
guys, I'm so sorry to interrupt this, but I'm telling you, look what just happened, released just minutes ago. Breaking news. DOJ is now seeking a suspect after attack on U.S. Attorney's Alina Habba's office. This was the person that was the right-hand person for Trump whenever he was going through all of his trials and all that. This is a big person, was literally sitting at the same table as Trump on the night of his election, a big Trump supporter and partner, and now somebody attacked their office trying to go after her. Like, oh my goodness, this is nuts. What should happen, everybody? Let me know in the comments. Like, you already got Stephen Miller, who's living on a military base because his family has been threatened so much. And then now, this just happened minutes ago, guys. You have Alina Habba's office that's been attacked. They were going after her. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. They're losing it. What I'm going to show you next after this, after MTG, that even a lot of Democrats are trying to separate themselves from the crazy left. Alice Lewis, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Show Alice some love in the chat, everybody. Because I'm telling you, the Obamacare, I think, was a big slush fund for the big pharma, the big healthcare industries. And now that that's almost about to be, I feel like, gutted, people are taking it to the next level.
some of the things that we critically need, and these are coming from the experts that I've been talking to. Number one is price transparency. You should be able to know top to bottom how much a knee replacement is going to cost, or a heart surgery, or, you know, if someone is getting any type of surgery or medical procedure, you should know top to bottom every single penny that it is going to cost you. And these hospitals, clinics, and doctors should have to compete with each other, and that lowers costs and drives up quality of care. Another thing that needs to happen is, I'm a big fan of HSAs. I think those are fantastic for everyone, but we also need to see people be able to come together, whether they're construction industry, whether they're whatever industry they are, they can come together, create a massive group, and then they have buying power. We could see buying power in companies like with Costco memberships, Amazon Prime memberships, you name it. That's buying power, and that also drives down costs. Another thing we need to do is really work on the PBMs. The middlemen have driven costs majorly, and that has been a crisis as well. But we also have to admit and be willing to admit that there is a percentage of our population that, due to, diseases that they have, cancer they may be facing, not everyone will be able to afford health insurance in the private marketplace. So there's that side of it as well. And that's why I think it deserves a comprehensive approach that looks at everyone and their myriad of differences and their different situations. And we can't provide a one-size-fits-all solution.
Let me tell you this, everybody.
Again, since you were out,
it's so bad. Like, thankfully, me and my family, we're pretty healthy, right? And we did the quote for our health insurance because, again, like having our own businesses of doing YouTube, doing a marketing agency and some other things, we have to go out to the private sector, and go get our insurance private. And when they came back with like $2,400, $2,500 a month, you're just like, wait, what? And this wasn't even the best plan. This was like a lower to middle of the road plan that they were offering. The best plan was like $3,200, $3,500 a month. And all I'm thinking about is like, how do people afford this? Like, we fortunately had another option that we went with, but it is mind-blowing what has happened. And I'm just sitting here thinking that the government really screwed up the healthcare system. And now that we're getting deeper into the fight over the healthcare system and people are starting to leave the Democratic Party, listen to this, because I'm telling you, this is insane, especially being said on CNN. If you appreciate all this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. Listen to this.
Said, quote, I've drunk deeply of the venom of both the left and the right. As a connoisseur, I can confirm that the most poisonous, the bitterest, is from the far left. That is pretty remarkable to hear you say that as an elected Democrat. Why?
No. It's just been my personal experience on this thing. And when I asked my digital team, I said, we're on all the platforms. Really, what's kind of the harshest? What's kind of the most personal? And the answer was immediate. He said, "Oh, blue sky. It's blue sky." And the difference is, the right would say really rough things and names. Some names I won't repeat on TV, but the on the left, it was like they want me to die, or that we're cheering for your next stroke, or that's terrible that depression won. Why couldn't it depression won? And I hope your kids find you. They even have like the graphic, a GIF where they have like a stroke, in your head, cheering at that. Yeah, and they said that. I remember one. They claimed, the doctor let us down, and why did they have to save his life? Just really, like, I just can't imagine. People are wishing, I wish he dies, or I want him to die. Literally cheering for a stroke. And I don't know what the kind of a place where that comes from. That's much different than just calling me a name. And that's really been consistent, in that community online.
Do you hear this? Coming from his own party, the Democratic side, guys, they're losing it. And again, it's all because of what's being exposed right now, guys, which is one of the biggest ones, okay? What you're about to see, I'm telling you, they're digging into this. This is huge. Mr. Norby in the chat, let's go, brother. I love it. Said healthcare has been a sham for far too long. Amen, brother. True OG of the channel. Would love seeing Mr. Norby in the chat. Thank you so much, brother. Show him some love in the chat, everybody. Listen to this.
Anna, great to see you again. So the first one is, let me get this right. You're going to end Nancy Pelosi's distinguished career of insider trading. Okay, it's high time. You're leading the charge on this.
I am, and it's interesting. People say, well, people, as in members of Congress, will say there's no insider trading taking place in Congress. BS. Most members are making 600% returns after they're aware of the market shifts, after they are aware, of information coming to the floor, how it's going to pass. And so we're actually going for an outright ban on stock trading. And my opinion to my colleagues and my statement that I've made very publicly and clearly is if you want to trade stocks, go to Wall Street, but don't do it in Congress. Ooh. So we're facing bipartisan support from the United States of America. The American people are with us overwhelmingly, but it's within the institution that they're against us. So I actually received word earlier today from a journalist of all people that said that they had received a tip that they're going to try to slow walk this. So I've actually gone forward and filed a discharge petition that I'm ready to call up at any time if they decide to play games.
Well, that's why I wanted to have you on, give you a leg up, any help I can, because I think you're right. Hang on a second. You may not be able to see this. We got a table for the full screen. Over the course of her career, she started out, Nancy Pelosi, let's put this up, Queen of Stocks, Queen of Stocks. She started out with $3 million in net worth. Today, she's leaving with $280 million in net worth. and her stock market gain, Anna, listen to this, you may know this, is basically 17,000%, okay?
Yeah,
16,930%.
Impossible.
You can't do that. Okay?
Nobody, hold on. Nobody's done this. I'm going to look this up because I have a person in mind, but hold on.
Warren Buffett couldn't do that. I mean, it's just crazy. Now, let me ask you a question. On your stock thing, could you buy an index fund and just hold it? That kind of thing. Not individual stocks, but an ETF or an index fund.
Yeah, so there's actually 3 different versions of this bill. And so right now, the one that we're pushing forward is the outright ban. If you have stuff coming in, you have to declare it, but you won't be able to buy individual stocks, nor will your spouse or your dependent child, right? And that's incredibly important because we also see that members might not be buying, but their spouses all of a sudden become very incredible stock traders overnight. It's like very incredible to watch. But also to make sure to remember that we are trying to do this by regular order, meaning we would like there to be amendments on it so that everyone feels that they can be heard on this and take place part of the process. But if we find, of which we're picking up word of already, that they're going to try to water this down and basically make it to where, again, people can insider trade, because that's exactly what's happening, ultimately we'll force the discharge petition. So I'm no stranger to these things, so it'll be fun.
No, I think the public, I mean, Ms. Pelosi, I mean, I don't want to stomp on her.
Let me tell you this. If you look at Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, his annual compounded gain was around 20%. If you look at Nancy Pelosi's, it was like 600%, 800%. Like, oh my goodness. And people don't say it's not happening. It's two-tiered system, everybody. And we're sick and tired of it. And I'm thankful and Representative Anna Paulina Luna is fighting against this. Douglas Willett, let's go with the super chat. Appreciate you so much, Douglas. Show Douglas some love in the chat. And our boy Alex Fox with the gifted memberships. Thank you so much, brothers, for your support. Everybody, go and show Douglas and Alex some love in the chat.
Saying it is what it is, and it's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. It could not be done by a human being. It just could not be done fairly within the law. Okay, and I got one more for you. This afternoon, Kash Patel talking. Chinese government is agreeing on a plan to stop fentanyl precursors. The People's Republic has fully designated and listed all 13 precursors utilized to make fentanyl. Furthermore, they've agreed to control even chemical subsidiaries that are used for that lethal drug. I know this is dear to your heart. It's dear to my heart and everybody's heart. What do you make of that? You think the Chinese will play ball this time? You think they will?
I think they will, because we have someone by the name of Donald J. Trump in the White House, and make no mistake, he's the one that negotiated this. Remember, it was Mexico and South American cartels that were actually buying the ingredients to make this stuff and ship it right into the United States that's killing Americans. So well done on behalf of the negotiations that President Trump put forward on those reciprocal tariffs. They worked. But ultimately, I do hope that it sticks after he's no longer in office, because frankly, I think that that's something that we can all get behind.
Well, I mean, Chinese have a bad record, as you well know. They have a terrible
yes,
record.
They do.
Right? They say yes, but they mean no. I mean, I was part of the negotiations in the first term. They say yes, and they mean no. Now, you're right about Mr. Trump. There's nobody tougher. But I mean, we got to enforce this thing, and I hope Kash Patel is going to be all over it.
I think he will. He's, he has a lot on his plate, but I think he will. There's some great men and women at the FBI. You know, they've done a good job of reforming the institution from within, but I think that this is a call to conservative Americans. If you want to get involved with the FBI, we need you.
You know, you're right. I call them the G-men, the old-fashioned G-men.
The G-men.
I love that. It's before your time, Anna, but you know what I'm talking about. And I think you're right. He's reformed the agency, and they're doing their job. Anyway, Congresswoman Anna.
Let me tell you this, everybody. This fight, oh my goodness, it is insane what is happening on the front of the FBI, the DOJ, rhinos, exposing all this. If you appreciate what we're doing, everybody, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. This is such a big fight. We're bringing you all the details, guys, all the receipts. Want to say, if you're not subscribed yet, please consider joining our family. We're here to serve you and bust our butt every day to give you the best show every single day. Right here, what you're seeing, Congressman Massey, Republican, siding with Democrats, smearing Trump over the J6 bomb probe, the Epstein case, all this stuff. It's just like, wow. But this is where, again, too, when stuff like this happens, we expose everybody. And we expose what's happening on the forefront with healthcare, Obamacare. That's why, again, I just want to remind you, everybody, right now, it's open enrollment time. And this is huge. We have partnered with this company called Chapter. It's free. You can call them up, tell them that I sent you, 667-895-3015. And they have saved people on this channel literally thousands of dollars, everybody. $2,700 a year, $1,400 a year, $1,200 a year. It's insane. And what I love is that when you call them up, they take care of you in a short amount of time. Because right now with Medicare and all the money that's going out there, everybody deserves help. And again, you cannot deny the stuff that has happened in our country. 3 national health insurance companies and 3 brokers alleging unlawful kickbacks and discrimination against disabled Americans. They're being gone after because of what they've done in healthcare. And that's why we partner with them. Again, they compare every single one of those 5,600 plans out there. Make sure you're saving the most money as possible, and I promise you, you will be blessed with them. The number is 667-895-3015. Just want to say thank you to everybody who is supporting the channel. Remember, we are here to take care of you. Lots of this stuff is going on, everybody. We're going to bring the receipts. I want to thank everybody that partners with us in their giving, helping us to give to these local charities on the 22nd of every single month. It means the world to us that you're helping us out. And I want to give some special love to those that have given today. Barbara Henson, our boy Jim Barbato, OG of the channel. Richard, PDX67, OG as well. Roland Sheremy, thank you so much, Roland, for your support. Our boy Andy with the support. Jog Haas, thank you so much for your support. Black Navy American Vet, thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much, Jim Barbato, OG of the channel. Salt and Light, Thomas Brewer, thank you so much. Ted and Linda Thompson for your support. Our boy, Mr. Norby, OG of the channel. Alice Lewis, Alex Fox, Douglas, thank you so much, Douglas Willett. We appreciate you very much. Thomas Brewer, thank you so much, brother. Proud U.S. Navy veteran, thank you so much, brother. We can't thank you enough, everybody, for all your support. Veronica Minsky, it means so much to us, everybody, that you support us. And remember, we're here every day. You hear my voice, you hear my thoughts, my opinions every single day, and we're America first, and we just want to serve you in the best way possible. We love y'all, appreciate you so much. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.